Last March, I watched my neighbor sprint through the grocery store loading his cart with the same rice and beans everyone else was grabbing. 3 aisles over, I walked past shelves nobody was even looking at, fully stocked, untouched. Some of those items cost less than $2 and will outlast both of us. Here's what most people get wrong about emergency food. It's not about stockpiling the most. It's about stockpiling what nobody else thinks to take. When shelves empty during the next supply disruption, you want food that was sitting there the entire time while chaos unfolded everywhere else. I'm covering 10 foods that stay invisible during panic buying. Not because they're inferior, because the prepping crowd follows the same tired checklist and clears out the same predictable items within hours. Meanwhile, these alternatives sit quietly on shelves, often cheaper, sometimes more nutritious, and always available when it actually matters. Number 1 is bouillon cubes. Most people hear that and think seasoning, not survival food. Let me shift how you see this. Imagine living off your stockpile for 2 weeks straight. Rice and beans every single day. Enough calories, nobody starving. But something happens around day 9 that catches people off guard. Monotony becomes a real problem. It wears down morale faster than hunger ever could. 1 bouillon cube transforms 2 cups of plain water into actual broth. Drop it into rice while cooking and that bowl shifts from something you tolerate to something you look forward to. I keep 500 cubes for under $30. That's 500 meals that don't taste like cardboard when everyone around you is struggling to stay positive. During the 2024 supply disruptions, a logistics manager I know told me bouillon never saw a shortage event. Canned broth vanished, seasoning packets cleared out, bouillon cubes sat untouched in every store he tracked. Nobody panic buys bouillon, which makes it exactly what belongs in your pantry. Storage matters here. Move them out of cardboard boxes immediately because cardboard absorbs moisture. Transfer into mason jars with silica gel packets. Stored properly, they outlast almost everything else you own. The concentrated sodium also replaces electrolytes when people are working hard under stress, which is why military rations have included bouillon for decades. Number 2 is nutritional yeast. I know how this sounds. Like something from a health store next to supplements nobody understands. A friend insisted it tasted like cheese, which seemed impossible for yellow flakes. I tried it on popcorn. The flavor surprised me. Savory, rich, almost umami. Then I looked at what was actually inside. 2 tablespoons deliver 8 grams of complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids your body can't produce, roughly equivalent to 1 whole egg. It keeps for 2 years in an airtight container without refrigeration or special treatment. But here's what most people miss entirely. Nutritional yeast is one of the best sources of vitamin B12 you can store long-term. B12 isn't optional. It directly affects nervous system function, red blood cell production, and mental clarity. During an emergency where you're eating a restricted diet under real stress for weeks, B12 deficiency becomes a legitimate health concern. Most standard prepper foods provide almost nothing for B12 levels. During a 5-day power outage, by day 3, the flatness of every meal was showing in everyone's mood. I started mixing nutritional yeast into rice, soups, whatever we were eating. The difference was immediate. My kids stopped picking at their food and actually ate. One asked if I'd made something different. I'd added 1 tablespoon of yellow flakes. 5 pounds runs about $40 and stays in stock during shortages because nobody thinks to grab it. But there's another gap in most stockpiles that's even more critical. Number 3 brings us to full-fat canned coconut milk. Here's the gap almost nobody addresses. Your body doesn't just need protein and carbs during an emergency, it needs fat. Real dietary fat to maintain energy production in cold weather, to properly absorb vitamins A, D, E, and K, to support hormone function and mental clarity. Standard prepper staples provide almost none of this. White rice has essentially 0 fat. Dried beans carry barely any. Most freeze-dried meals deliberately strip fat out because it reduces shelf life. A 4-day winter camping trip taught me this lesson hard. We had proper survival food: rice, beans, dried vegetables, solid calorie intake. By day 3, everyone was dragging despite getting enough sleep, mentally foggy, feeling cold in temperatures that shouldn't have affected us that way. One experienced hiker pulled out canned coconut milk and heated it with our rice. Within an hour, the entire group changed. Energy returned. Mental fog cleared. That was the clearest real-world demonstration of what dietary fat actually does when your body runs without it for days. One can delivers roughly 50 grams of healthy fat. Shelf-stable for 5 years. Costs around $2 per can, often less at Asian grocery stores. Add it to rice and the meal becomes creamy, calorie-dense, genuinely filling. Stir it into soups and you increase calorie content without adding volume, meaning the same pot feeds more people more effectively. During physically demanding situations or high-stress periods, fat requirements jump higher than normal. Cortisol production, manual labor, and cold exposure all push that need upward. Coconut milk handles that requirement from a shelf-stable source better than almost anything else. I keep 50 cans, oldest rotated to the front, used in regular cooking. Total investment under $100. Number 4 is potato flour, not potato flakes, not instant mash. Actual flour made from whole dried potatoes. I found this by accident in a small European specialty store. Bags sitting on a bottom shelf, nobody buying them. I grabbed one, had no idea what I was looking at, put it back. That evening I researched it. Next morning I went back and bought everything they had. 3 reasons this works for long-term storage that most preppers haven't figured out. First, shelf life. In an airtight container, potato flour keeps for 10 years. Regular wheat flour goes rancid in 6 to 12 months. That's not a minor difference. Second, completely gluten-free. During any collapse situation, gluten-free options vanish immediately and become nearly impossible to source afterward. If anyone in your household has celiac disease or sensitivity, potato flour shifts from nice option to absolute necessity. Third, resistant starch. It feeds beneficial gut bacteria and slows digestion, keeping you full significantly longer. When rationing food, that's a practical way to eat less while still feeling satisfied. During a 3-day power outage, I made flatbreads on a camp stove. Mix with water, add salt, cook in a dry pan. 5 minutes. Hot bread in the middle of an emergency changes how every surrounding meal feels. It also works as a thickener. 1 tablespoon replaces 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. 5-pound bag costs around $8. Transfer it into a food-grade bucket with a gamma seal lid. Add an oxygen absorber. That single step takes it from good shelf life to exceptional. During shortages, it sits on shelves completely untouched. Nobody buys it. Nobody thinks about it. That's exactly the advantage. Your stockpile doesn't need to mirror everyone else's. The strongest preparation is the one nobody else thought to build. Pick what fills your biggest gap. Start there. Build gradually. That's what actually works when it matters. The prepping community isn't wrong about taking preparation seriously. The problem is everyone pulls from the same sources and builds identical lists. That shared approach is exactly what gets wiped out first during actual disruptions. These 10 foods exist outside that pattern. During the last major shortage I experienced, every single item on this list remained fully stocked the day after conventional prepper shelves were completely bare.